Good morning, everybody. I'm just making breakfast this morning. I am making blackberry banana pancakes. Yeah, we're doing a job on the truck. Last night I slept absolutely amazing. It was just a little bit of adjustment that I needed to how early I was going to sleep, right? So yeah, hopefully this will be a transition when I get home. Maybe I could go to bed a little bit earlier and wake up a little bit earlier. I mean, it was lovely to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and lay there for a couple of hours. But yeah, I was ready to get up. Ooh, look at my pancakes. Almost ready to flip. Let's see if I can do that without destroying it. Finished washing up some of my amethyst that I'll be giving away when I get home. I've also even put away, I'm wondering if I can just pull it out really quickly here. One crystal just for myself. Isn't that beautiful? So I put that one away. I won't be giving that one away. That one's mine. So I should wrap it up, but oh well, it'll be safe. It's not going to be played around in. I am ready to go. Well, not ready to go. I still got to have a shower, get dressed, but everything is sitting on the chair, ready to go. And I'll be hitting the road. I'll be stopping to do one of this park's trails. So we're going to finally get a full trail explore in. And yeah, hitting the road, and we are heading home. It'll take me a couple of days, I'm sure, but what an amazing trip that I'm having, right? It's not over until I walk in the door, and then it's cleanup time. But in the moment, I'm having a moment. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, let me see if I can do this while the camera's still going and see if I can flip my pancake. Hopefully it's not burnt. Oh, there we go. I am a master pancake maker, and really awesome. I just used one canister the whole time on my trip. I really like this stove so much better than the stove I had last year. Oh my goodness, drove me crazy, rattled my whole trip. But you know, it's in that practice, right? And in the failures that we find systems, and we find comforts. We find ease of mind, right? Ease on that stress that we carry along with us all the time, right? And it is through the failures. So without those experiences, we never get things right. And that's what people get wrong. They're just afraid to make movement, any kind of movement. But without any kind of movement, there is no growth. Okay, no lecture, no lecture this morning, because I need it just as much as anybody else, right? But I learn from my mistakes 100%. Okay, let's see. That pancake must be ready now. One thing I did forget this trip were my dinner plates. These worked out absolutely fine. But yeah, I'm surprised I forgot dinner plates. But I was trying to minimalize. Whoa. Oh, look what I did to my pancake. Oh, well. It's just... Oh, here, I'm just going to heat that part up just a little bit more, because I did see dough on that. Oh, Cindy, you're a silly girl. Still going to be delicious, but it would have been nice if it was perfect. Oh well, it's still gonna be delicious, and I'm probably not even gonna finish it all. I want that banana too. Just fry that banana. Oh my goodness. Oh well, it's going to be yummy. I got some jam, I got some butter. We're gonna get it into me, and right, off we go here. Okay, I was thinking, if we're going to do this trail, you guys, because last week we picked the word risk, right? It was a word that I wasn't quite sure of the perspective that I could bring to the table, right? Because as highly sensitives and as empaths, we like things safe. We like to feel out all the possibilities, all the hiccups, We, in our minds, see the dominoes going down and we want things to be absolutely perfect, right? But sometimes that perfectness is in the imperfectness. Sometimes it's in a moment, right? That we find ourselves that we have to come to the table with nerves or calmness or our intellect or our supplies in the back of the truck. I never even used any of I got a huge, right, Swiss Army knife safety bag. It's huge, and I've got everything but the kitchen sink in it, right? And it's in that over preparedness. And I tried to leave this trip loose, right? I tried to leave this trip loose, but at the same time, grounded in me taking care of myself, right? That idea that I can take care of myself, that I shouldn't be off all flighty and, right? And if you are anything like me in any way, you can find yourself that you can be flighted, and it's important to stay grounded in those flighty experiences and those flighty adventures. And this morning I took note some of those flighty conversations because it's important in creating the best human being I possibly can. And it's not a matter of not being genuine, but it's etiquette, right? And I kind of talked about this morning, and I was getting into a very, very deep conversation with a beautiful, beautiful human being in a camping spot doing exactly what I'm doing. Exactly what I'm doing. And she's living her own story of that. And we had conversations about uh, different food and eating habits because I have bad eating habits, and I invited her over for pancakes. I made banana and blackberry pancakes for breakfast, but I knew because of our conversation last night that she had some gluten intolerance, right? So having conversations about different recipes and things that she was doing, I got a little bit of insight to myself. And of course, in building that closeness, because that's how it starts. It starts with a conversation. It starts with taking an interest. It starts sometimes with a little bit advice, right? And again, being highly sensitives and empaths, we find ourselves having to apologize. Oh, could I give you a suggestion? And sometimes we can stumble over ourselves, but for me, that's just all information and it's communication, right? Because as I move forward, because I'm taking notes, and as we move forward, and if I find that we're getting close, right, that we could be friends possibly, then I can be more myself. But I am very excitable and I'm very passionate about what I do. And the lesson for me was that, I'm not overstepping boundaries because I always say, these are my views, right? And this is how I move in my life because I have these views. It's a big contributor, my ideas about those parts of me that are coming back. And even though they learn slowly, it learns. I should say they, right? It's hard, right? But I'm Cindy. I'm living the best life that I possibly can for myself. And, being able to untangle those emotions and untangle those thoughts, they've done such magnificent miracle work. That's what I I consider it because I see people out there struggling with the exact things I struggle with, and it's because the wires are sort of kind of mixed up where I was at, right? And I'm still at. It's an ongoing process, but in the beginning I was very, very confused. I was very confused at all, and it was very, very scary because and that's the last thing I want to do, is to scare those other parts of myself. And that's why it's important that I take care of myself, right? That I make sure that I'm safe. I take those precautions, and I'm not going to apologize for being a little bit hypervigilant in that. But being a little bit hypervigilant has allowed those other parts of me to come to the surface. And that's the truth. And that's because I put that work in, and you can call it shadow work. You can call it deep therapy, right? You can call it absolutely anything you want, right? As long as it's your choice, right? Because if you fail, you're gonna know it, and it's gonna be painful, right? And hopefully, by the grace, you'll be able to recognize it and just turn around, right? Because there's nothing worse than having to endure something that you're not supposed to be enduring. And that's the truth. I don't know where that all came from, but that's where I'm starting with, right? I explore the inside and the outside. And, right, who knows when I'm going to have the opportunity to do this again, right? I'm going to reverse engineer next year's vacation. But I'm going to take an opportunity if it comes across my path 100%. If I can ground in it. If I know that everything's going to be good, right? And I can only make those decisions. If I want to be responsible for my own life, if I want to be that independent person, right? I have to make those choices. I have to be the evidence, right? Because if I'm the evidence, maybe you'll try, right? Maybe you'll try. Okay, you guys, let's go for a walk. I'm the only one here on this trail. But handy dandy, it just whips out just like that. Just whips out just like that. I got my bear spray, right? We're not going to use it. I've never had to use it ever, right? Oh, this is going to be nice, you guys. Okay, I'm going to try and keep my excitement to a minimum, right? A little bit of information. And even though I'm on my way home, you guys, my park pass is good till 10 o'clock tonight. So I plan, I'm not sure, I think this one's is only a mile. Might even be there and back a mile. So it's not very, very long. But the boardwalk again. And remember, this one, see, you don't have the chicken wire on it. I thought at Rushing River, was it Rushing River when they had the chicken wire on the boardwalk? It was kind of, ooh, you guys. If I'm silent, you guys, we might have the opportunity to see a mouse. Wouldn't that be incredible? I saw footprints. I saw footprints by a watering hole at my campground. Oh, how pretty. It's like fairyland in here. How can I keep my excitement down, you guys? Can I try? Do you want me to try? Do you want me to try? Okay. Enjoy. I don't know how long this is going to be, and I don't know if I can calm my excitement, but I'm going to put an effort in. How's that? Okay. ASMR for it. ASMR, right? Is that an ASMR video? Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. I need to take photographs. Stop. Okay, all I could say is I'm going to try. How about if I won't even say anything? I'll just stop the video, take my photograph, and then just carry on. Okay. I am a work in progress. I slid right off, you guys. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I didn't even bring my walking sticks. Let's try this one more time. I can't do it if I'm going to hurt myself because it's a walkway. And even where I fell, you can see there was a 2-foot. Oh, you guys, I don't think I can. Do I have to stay? Do I have to stay on the walkway? Oh, yeah. I'm not going to be able to do this one. It's too dangerous. I can see it's just slime. Oh, my goodness. And I don't think there's a reason they say I can't. No, that's too dangerous. Okay, yeah, that's an out. Oh, it's so beautiful. I don't see an animal trail in here. Just beautiful. Oh, okay. Well, this isn't, I can't do a boardwalk for sure. I have to find a trail. Okay, but this is the first one I came across. We'll get one. Oh my goodness, but there are picture opportunities, 100%. Oh, and the sun's coming out now. Oh. Okay, I think we got a trail. I'm not quite sure how long it is, but I think this trail is called Sibley, and there should be a lake view at the end of it if I'm thinking correctly from the map. I should have taken a closer look, but it doesn't matter. We're just going to see how far we can get here, and we can see that there isn't a boardwalk here, so this is much better. Much better. Yeah, it was way too unsafe, that other trail. Just the sap from the trees, right? Laying on the wood. Okay. Oh, beautiful. We don't have hills in Manitoba. That's not true, but you have to go a ways. I mean, we're the prairies, right? PrairieDodgers, get it? Yeah. Oh, beautiful, you guys. And again, I'm here all by myself. Oh, I can see the lake already. Maybe it's a short trail. Ooh. Oh, right into a marsh. Well, it's a good thing I'm wearing my Keens. My Keens. Oh, yeah, but I'm still not going to traipse through that. Oh, but look how pretty it is, you guys. Oh, my goodness. Gotta remember to take my bird seed when I come. Okay, well. Yeah, we'll make it last. We'll go up another hill. And we'll do another trail, right? I'm always looking at the rocks, but I think these rocks here have been laid down by the province. It's all slate. It breaks up fairly easy. But you get excited when you see the shape of like an arrowhead, right? But it's possible, right? People find arrowheads all the time. And actually, the information center at the Quetico Park, Provincial Park, they actually had a beautiful museum set up there with the Voyageur. They actually had a boat, a York boat, and they had all kinds of arrowheads on display and working tools. It's pretty cool. I've seen arrowheads. I've never found one myself, though. And you think that I would have by now, being such a rock hound, right? Because wherever I go, I'm always looking and picking up rocks. Yep. Hey. Okay, we'll go off to another one. Okay, we are at Joe Boy Trail. And if I'm thinking correctly, this one leads down to a creek. It's less than 2 kilometers, but a little bit longer than the one we were just on. So yeah, let's head it out. And yeah, I'll try not to say anything, but sometimes the exuberance of the moment, right? And I'll just stop and take a picture if I see an amazing picture, because I see amazing pictures everywhere right now. Haven't gotten any mushrooms yet. This year they really died out early. Usually the colors, and they're super big and everything, they're just all brown and wrinkly and look done in. You do have to still be careful because on these rocks, that slime will still be on the rocks, right? And being fall. Oh. My bird seed. Do I head back to the truck? Oh, why do I keep forgetting? I'm sorry, buddy. Oh, the smell's amazing. All you smell is rotting mushrooms. That's exactly what the smell is. It's rotting mushrooms. Oh, look at it. We got a creek. Maybe it wasn't a lake. Maybe it was a creek. Maybe it was both. Oh, amazing. Sorry, gotta blaze my own trails. Gotta blaze my own trails. Just check for slime. I don't want to fall into the water. What a nice little swimming hole. Oh my goodness. Right? Bet you there was a village around here 1,000 years ago. Right? Fresh water, bath, laundry. This is all the algae coming from the trees because we are in the midst of a forest, right? Okay, let's get back up there. Oh, so pretty. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you see any wildlife that I'm not spotting so far. Today all I've spotted was a chipmunk and a squirrel. A chipmunk and a squirrel. Well, there's some mushrooms in there. Maybe I'll take some photos of those on the way back. Just the smell, it's so relaxing. So fresh with the rain. And all the rotting mushrooms, the smell of the rotting mushrooms and the wet moss. Look how clear the water is. I thought that was it. I thought there was a little loop around the tree and you head back to the track, but no. Okay, let me just be careful. Oh, a little marsh area. Okay, bonus round. One more round. I got off at Thunder Bay, sat in a Tim Hortons, and I unloaded 43 gigabytes of video up into my Google Photos. I just love my Pixel. I tell you, I just love my Pixel. So we're on the go again, and we can take as much video as we want, but I'm turned around now. So now I'm heading home. Today is going to be my challenge to see if I can find a spot where I don't have to pay for camping. So that's the challenge tonight. If I have to pay for camping, I have to pay for camping. But, you know, I was saying that it was such a nice route that I took on that Highway 11 that I thought maybe I would try it again. And no rush to get home. I'm going to save a few dollars in camping. So I thought maybe we would come to the falls. You can see behind me here. Can't see much, but wait for it. Oh, and the beautiful views behind me. We are at Quebec Falls in Ontario. It's another provincial park. I've not camped here, but I do understand that there are camp spots here. It's just, you know, when I go camping, I look for those out of the way places, you know. This is pretty famous falls here in Ontario. It's beautiful here, beautiful walking trails. I've walked the trails too. And the staff here is amazing. And because I had camping last night, my pass is good until 10 o'clock tonight. So I've been able to stop off and visit a few parks, but you know, I had troubles. Troubles. Yes, I've had troubles, but But I am on it. I tell you, you just push. You just push a little bit. Every time it messes with you, I'm not taking that. Here, take that. Right? And finally, something breaks, and the next thing you know, you got 43 gigabytes of storage ready to go to load up with video. The challenge will be editing it. But I'm up for that challenge too. And when I get fed up and when I don't want to keep pushing, you know what? I'm going to push a little bit more because I know that's how I win. Okay, I'm going to turn you around a little bit. We're going to take a little walk around. That was one of the troubles at one of the parks. Oh, are you seeing it? For those of you who hang out with me for any length of time, you know I like to spend time here whenever I drive by. And it is right on the highway on the way home. Usually I take the 17, but I take a little turn off onto the 11 so I can catch this. But this time I'm taking the 11 practically all the way home. So look at that. I wonder, I'm seeing a pathway here on the rocks, right? And you get onto these rocks right here. Get right onto these rocks right here. Walk, walk, walk. Step over onto this rock. Walk, walk, walk. Step onto that rock, and you could sit right there. You could. You could get there if you really wanted to. I'm not encouraging anybody to do that. That's dangerous. That's dead, right? That's dead. But there are little spots here that would provide you pretty cool views. I think sitting on the edge of this one here might be too much, right? Too much pressure. And again, the sap and the moss and being fall, it would be darn slippery. Cool though, eh? Okay, let's go take a walk. You guys, I had the most amazing vacation. The most amazing. Built just for me. Built just for me. The only reason I'm going home is I ran out of money. But that's all good. I have my challenge that's going to save me $40 or $50. And I'll find myself a nice scenic spot to camp for the night. And then in the morning, I'll just find a rest stop and start up my burner and make myself a nice cup of coffee and a sandwich or some toast or something. Isn't that beautiful? I love this one over here. Here, I can zoom in on that. But look at that granite sheeting. Oh, that's slate, eh? So this fall is probably very consistently changing because a lot of that rock has to be broken up, and you can see how it's seeping. That rock, so cool. Okay, let's go for a walk. Hi. They have a visitor center up there. I'm sure it's closed now because it's after 6. It's going on 7 o'clock. I'm not rushing, you guys. I'm not rushing to get home. But I did tell my sister not to bother going to my house and feeding my cat tomorrow, that I'll be home sometime tomorrow or early the next morning. Look at that. I just stopped to take a picture. There was a couple trying to take pictures of each other, and they could tell they were just like really in love and stuff, right? And they were just a young couple. Just asked them if they'd like me to take pictures. They were so excited. I took some really nice pictures, which is what I should do right now. So see you in a minute. I was saying earlier in one of my videos on my trip that I kind of felt bad because I'd only gotten into 1 or 2 days of the word of the week, which we had this word risk, and I had barely touched the topic. And I really thought, how amazing would it be if possibly I could just do a short video instead of going live. Or maybe, no, just instead of going live, just to attach a little something else to this word risk that's so important. I can still save it to my podcast playlist, right? But the thing is, I thought a good topic would be the fact that I created this trip. And of course there was risk in that, that I wouldn't have enough money. I have grown up with a lack mindset, and I grew up into my adulthood with this lack mindset. And in these past few years, learning to, reverse engineer, to set goals, to make choices, to realize that I matter, right? And I was so certain that I was on the right path to making this amazing life for myself through making choices myself. Somebody who really, I spent most of my life like a bumper car, just going up against that wall and up against that bumper car, just going along with whatever anybody wanted. And, there were a few times I could see that maybe I was the queen bee in a certain group. And, I am a combination. I am my father's daughter, but I am my mother's daughter too. And in those dynamic relationships is hard to label, right? I really have a problem. If you've been with me for any length of time, you know I have a problem with labeling. And yet I'm trying to do this genuinely. I'm trying to show the flaws, the mistakes, the failures. You know, I could have been a little bit more stricter with myself this year, not giving myself so many of those instant gratifications, you know, like a coffee shop coffee. You know, that's $3. You're doing that every day. That's $90 or $100 a month, right? And it's just the idea that I still have work to do. I'm a work in progress, because on my trip, you know, it's a sad thing, but this is how the world works with that money, right? How much more could I have done, right? And there were a couple of times where I was so frustrated with my inability to stick to a budget, or to put money away, or not to touch the money that I had put away. And I could beat myself up about that, or I can give myself credit for the things that I did get right. I got a $5,000 Windows 11 laptop with all the specs that I need for editing videos. Now, the videos still might not be great, because again, I'm a work in progress, right? But there's always a risk of, you know, like even this video, if the stabilizer wasn't on, you get the shaky, and right, I don't have my wireless mic because I destroyed it a week before my trip. And, you know, these mishaps happen. And I could lose viewers with being genuine, being more myself, in sharing more of myself, or monkey on a rope, you know, right? I can just continue on just being a character just to be acceptable, right? I could be a character and live somebody else's experience instead of living my experience. This is me, right? So many people said, "Oh, Cindy, can I come along on your trip?" No. This is me. This is all mine. And if it fails, and there were failures, right? You could see I broke my glasses, but they were messed up anyway from that accident I had on that bus, right? So, you know, I make it a priority. And, you know, for those kind of necessities, and this is maybe something I should take into consideration, is for those necessities, like, I buckle down. It's not life and death, but it's important, right? It's important. And so these are things that I have to take care of right away. The vacation, well, in all truth, my job could desperately have needed me in the next week even, right? And I'm taking my vacation. Why? Because I've earned it. I didn't bring my seeds. Oh. Okay. Let's get back on the topic of risk, which I really wanted to give it a little bit more perspective, right? And it's this trip, being by myself, not having the right supplies, not possibly having enough money, right? Maybe encountering some kind of mishap, maybe something with the vehicle, right? Oh my goodness, like, you know, like the only thing that went bad was that I broke the arm of a pair of glasses where the arm was broken anyway. That's amazing. I'm good with that. Right? That's an indication, because those cranks, those things that I should be doing, right? And I'm not doing, that's when the difficulties arise. So when things are going beautifully, when I feel happy and content, when I'm doing what I love doing, right? Whew. That's everything. That's absolutely just everything. And it wasn't that long ago, right? Again, right? That risk, because, oh, look at the nest. Is that a nest? I don't know what that is. Maybe it's part of the, what is that? Maybe it's just the way the tree's growing. Huh, weird. Okay. Oh, another chipmunks. I saw more chipmunks than any other animal. Didn't see my moose though. I didn't even see a deer, and I usually see a gazillion deer. Yeah, but you know, uniqueness, being eccentric in how I want to live my life, portray my life. It's all in an intent to be genuine. And I can be genuine. If I'm concentrating on filling my cup up, right? Rather than consistently filling others' cups up. And that's where this idea, and because of the programming of my childhood, automatically that guilt and shame. And then, you know, you think about that stuff. What you think about is truly realized, because I know how I felt, how obligated I felt. Any time anybody did something for me, they always stumble over myself to give my precious things away, which weren't very much, or my time, you know. Like my sister helped me out so much, and this is how I looked at it, right? I want to take little side trails, but let's just stay on the track, otherwise we're going to get lost, and I can hear the falls coming up. So yeah, so the risk in it is doing what I love, right? Being out on the road, sharing my ideas about nature, reminiscing about the past, right? Because that's okay, right? Because there are lots of things good in your life that you should think about. And it's not fair to give that time to the good things and not the time to the difficult things, because there are lessons in the difficult things. They don't, right? Otherwise, there wouldn't be a difficulty. There wouldn't be a guilt. There wouldn't be a shame, right? There wouldn't be an obligation. Everything you would do because you want to. And again, that's why you're supposed to be doing what you want. And I love being on the road, right? Stopping off at different parks. Look at, is there a cave there? Can you see that? Is that a cave? That's interesting. Is there spirits of the opposite to the place from which there's a rock cavity which in the superstitious legends of the Indians is regarded as the residence of the evil spirit, right? I noticed that. I love these boards, right? So people would have tried somehow to get down that to see what that was. Isn't that neat? Super interesting. But then again, right, that's fragile, and you can see how many landslides. There's a recent landslide right there. That would have been cool to be standing here looking at that when it fell down, right? Nobody would have gotten hurt, and that's part of Mother Nature, right? Yeah, they have lots of beautiful waterfalls in Ontario. Niagara Falls, right? Even if you're from another country, you've probably heard of Niagara Falls. I think it's the second largest waterfall in the world. The first one goes to, I think it's somewheres in Brazil, if I'm thinking proper. I don't know. See how good I am at holding on to that proper information, but I'd like you, if you have the answer, or if I think to Google it, right? Let me know, or I'll let you know if I figure it out before you. See how different it looked, right? 1850. That's what it looked like. Okay, let's take a look at it now. Huh. Yeah, it's changed over time for sure. Yeah, cool. Okay, you guys, let's get back on the road. Let's tie up this topic of risk. Risk. It's just not almost running out of gas. I was a little bit nervous when I got to what park was that? Quetico Park, and I was a little bit nervous that possibly I might have run out of gas, because that warning light was on for a while, but I hadn't filled it all the way from Winnipeg, so I was certain I had at least a half an hour, but I was still a few hours away from Thunder Bay, and luckily I just backtracked 15 minutes and there was a gas station. I paid a pretty penny there, but I just got enough to get me into the city before I filled up the truck again. But I was willing to take that risk? No, that wasn't a risk. That just wasn't paying attention to the gauge, right? It could have been a situation. And then at that point, well, how well do I influence, right? I have to go and talk to park rangers, get some suggestions, maybe get a ride to a gas station, leave a deposit for a gas can, get right already. When I was thinking when the gas was running out, that was all those details were running through my mind, all the different solutions, right? Just like a little calculator brain, right? Yeah. Yeah. And I share that. So there's maybe my biggest risk, right, of being genuine, being who I am. And I think that would do the trick with me. I have this understanding there is nothing that I can't talk about, right? But I do have choice in what I talk about. Then maybe there lies the lack of confidence, right? Because it's most important for me to be genuine. But some of these topics I talk about, right? And that risk, and what am I risking in the end, right? That somebody might unsubscribe from me, right? But what is about that person who lives vicariously through my Mother Nature, who likes the energy that I bring to the table, my creativity, and some of my ideas about what is this all about. And moving into something that I know very little about, in all honesty, right? And that's an honest truth. I think it will be my great-grandniece's children and their children and their children and their children, right? Hundreds of thousands of years. And this is where my idea is about evolution, right? It's not about motivation, inspiration, religious ideas, political views, right? Hello. And it's not about any of that. But what it is keeping the human race alive and making sure that we are contributors to a planet where whoever or whatever would like us to stick around with a little bit of readjustment, right? And I think if you're watching my content, you're doing that for yourself. I'm meeting people right and left, being so creative in their stories and in the journeys that they're writing for themselves, and using etiquette to have experiences with others, because it's through those experiences that we'll recognize where we're really supposed to be, who we were supposed to be, and the possibilities of what we can be. And then at that point, it's just a matter of our choices. And as highly sensitives and empaths, well, being the bumper cars, we always tend to be dictated to. And because we're non-confrontational, right? We go along with the story. Sorry, dear. And so it is between a rock and a hard place for me. But I think for anybody, this world amazes me. I love the cultures. And I say how I said cultures. It's the Heinz 57, how we're all amalgamating, how we're all assimilating, and we're changing into something else. We're not Neanderthals anymore, right? But every human being has between 2 and 6% Neanderthal in them, right? More on the lower end, but still, right? The Neanderthal didn't die. It found a way, it adapted and conquered, it found a way to survive. And what if it's that 2% that makes the difference? And what if it's the 2% of the Homo sapiens that makes the difference? And that 4% goes into something else. Food for thought. Right? Food for thought. I want to survive. Not me personally. It's going to be thousands of years. Hundreds of thousands of years, maybe millions of years. choice. And I choose to be as genuine as I can be in the moment, having the etiquette to understand that not everybody's going to understand. Okay, let's get back to the car. See, get a better look at that walking path that I saw. Just to see if it would be possible. No, I don't think so. Yeah, it'd be right on the edge would be the only place, and you don't want to take a chance of going down that. It was a thought, but just a thought. But then again, it could have been a choice. Well, the challenge was a free camping spot. It looks like I got a free camping spot today. And I shouldn't be laughing because it's some kind of accident or something up the highway, 10 miles or so. So I'm kind of backtracked because I saw this rest stop here. And I thought, well, I just kind of hang out and make something to eat and pull out the stove and make something to eat and take a rest. Even though I wasn't ready for a rest, I was ready to be on the road. And yeah, so I just turned around. I did a U-turn. I came to this park and yeah, people have been rolling up. So it looks like that accident or whatever it's been has been under investigation for quite a long time now. So I'm going to camp here for tonight. I think if we have park rangers come in, I think they'll be understanding because it's not like I'm going to go back to Thunder Bay, is it? Yeah, we're on a budget. Yeah, that bites into the gas. So, and we're on our way home. So we're on our way home. That's just the way it is. Okay, well, I'm glad I got here earlier than a few, right? So I got a good spot. At least I got a picnic table, but I suspect all night long people start rolling in, right? As soon as they realize that they can't get down the highway. And every once in a while, not often, so the message or the word did get out, but every once in a while, like me, somebody drives down the highway and is going to get stuck in that lineup. Yeah. Okay. And it's trucks too. It's mostly trucks down the highway. I can hear that it's a big truck. Oh, maybe not a big truck. It's a loud truck. There's a difference. Okay. Good morning, people. I have no idea. Well, I sort of kind of have an idea of where I am. But looking behind me, thank goodness I found a little restaurant because I was starting to doze off on the road. Yesterday was full of mishaps and adventures and good times and not so great times. But I expect these things when I'm on the holidays. It's part of the excitement, right? To see how smoothly I could make my trip, how close to the itinerary that I had wished it to be it was. And it was absolutely amazing. But at the same time, uh, I went back to Thunder Bay last night twice. There was a big accident. I'm not quite sure what happened, but two highways at where they conjoin, there was a huge accident, and people were waiting. There was one gentleman who waited over 14 hours to get where he needed to be, and he didn't even get to where he needed to be. It was a rest stop that I had chit-chatted with him, or he was talking to a group of guys and I was eavesdropping, right? But he was saying that, the accident happened at 4 o'clock the night before, and he just couldn't wait any longer, so he just turned around. He went to a rest stop. Everybody was using the rest stop as a campground. I'm sure the rangers wouldn't have a problem with that because thousands of people got stranded on the highway yesterday, and I didn't stay stranded for too long. I didn't stick around, right? I didn't go on holidays just to stand in a line of cars, so I just did a U-E. I knew there was a rest stop back there. I stopped. I slept for a few hours. I got up. I set the alarm off in the truck, and remember, this truck stop was full of people who were stranded on the highway and worried about when they were able to carry on with their journeys. With me, myself, right? This is a car rental. It had to be back, right? So I have to make sure that I found a different route. So I decided, well, I woke up after a few hours of nap. I was ready to go. I was ready to go when it all happened. So I drove back into Thunder Bay, and I picked up a terrible cup of coffee at the place that was the only place that was open. But the gentleman was so lovely. He let me stand there and talk to all the people that were coming into the gas station to see if maybe I could find another route home, if there was another side road I didn't care as long as I could get past the accident, right? And, and I am sorry for, and I sent good cheer to whoever, but it must have been really, really terrible in order for them to shut down the Trans-Canada, and not just the Trans-Canada, but it's adjoining highway too, which would have been another route for me. So it happened, I guess, right at that intersection, and they shut it all down. It was a bit of a mess, but I carried on driving after my nap. I drove out of Thunder Bay. I just carried on after talking to a gentleman who had waited 7 hours just in the lineup of cars, and he got there the same time I did, and he waited 7 hours, and him and his wife were absolutely exhausted. I thanked them. They said it was open, so I just carried on. I tried to make up for some time in the dark, but it was dark, and you can see behind me there's lots of fog and stuff. That's what happens when you're up in the mountains, right? So I'm suspecting that the road is going to be a little bit rough. Let me turn my camera around. And I was finding I was getting tired again because it was still dark when I took off, right? So I drove up for as long as I could to make up for time. And then I saw this rest stop, and I says, I gotta stop. So I stopped. It was freezing cold. I bundled up, got under my blankets, slept for an hour. Then my 7 o'clock alarm went off. I turned it off. I went back to sleep, but I was carrying my second phone, and at 8 o'clock, that phone went off. And now I'm up. I've just changed my clothes, give myself a little bit of a wash, brush my teeth. I'm going to see, there's a little town not too far away. You can't see it in the clouds, but we're up on a big hill, so you can see the surroundings pretty good. And I know we're pretty close to a town, so I'm assuming everything is open now. So let's get a decent cup of coffee and just get on the road. Let's just get on the road. Okay, guys, see you in a bit. Well, we're rolling, but barely. I was stuck in, out just on the outskirts of Thunder Bay for 24 hours, just driving around. I actually drove into the city a couple of times. It was really bad. Well, the first time there was a car accident. This one, well, they're blasting out the mountain to expand on the highway. It's a good idea, but I don't know. It's really slowing things up. But I'm thinking it is probably a good time to do that because a lot of the cottagers and a lot of the campers and stuff have slowed down for the season. So you could probably, you know, if you get your crew working, you could probably accomplish quite a bit in the next couple of months. So it makes sense that they're doing this work now, but fall, my favorite time of the year. It is. I love fall. There, isn't that better? Got my air conditioning on. It was so cold last night, but it just warmed up beautifully today. I'm enjoying my drive home so much. But again, I just can't believe how much abandoned there is. Like, so much. If I had some money, I might invest in some property. I think a little bit past Thunder Bay, I'd like to be in that amethyst kind of area, right? For the potential of, you know, an unfathomable dream, and yet it's there. So yeah. But sometimes, you know, you use your imagination, right, to daydream, and sometimes it gives you something. I'm not saying hope for or hopeful, but to be optimistic, because if you don't achieve that dream, it was fun to imagine the possibility of it. It gave you something to do. It gave you a goal. It gave you a mission. It gave you lessons, right? And even though you might not achieve that, you'll achieve something attached to that if you do it right. If you're doing something that you love. Yeah, and then you could whistle while you work. Yeah, I like racking up experiences. I always have. It was something my father was passionate about, and I picked it up. I picked up some bad habits, but I picked up some amazing aspects of my father. I even picked up amazing aspects of my mother, right? That's where the never give up comes from. My mother, right? That hard work, that's my mother. That creativity, oh, my dad had so much of it. It was a gift of his. But my mother had it too. Yeah. I have to be genuine in the stories, but I have to also be genuine in the aspects of people that I have these traits, right? And even though people hurt people, right? People sometimes do so much damage that you think it's impossible to get back to a place where you can connect again. And sometimes that's true, right? Sometimes that's true, but we beat ourselves up in our limitations, and we understand that, they got programming too. And everybody is unique. And if you just use etiquette in realizing it takes all kinds to make the world, right? Then you get to realize that life truly is. What happens to you while you're making other plans? 100%. But it's all lessons, right? It's all movement forward. And it's all to a better place. That's what's most important. Oh my goodness. To get back to that. Oh my goodness, yeah. Grateful. Yeah. All this slow driving home, they're blowing things up. They're enhancing the infrastructure here in the province, which is awesome, but not so awesome when you're a driver too, right? Beautiful province, I tell you. But I never see anybody sitting on the rocks, throwing their fishing rod, or anything. Like, I don't know why all these beautiful lakes and nobody's using them. Mind you, those ones they are, right? Because you can see there's cottages. This is Kenora we're in right now. So we're pretty close to home. A few hours. Maybe a little bit more because, like I said, they're blowing things up. How about you? I'll show you what they're doing here, right? They're expanding on the highway. You can tell they're expanding on the highway. This is super expensive to do and super inconvenient for travelers because this is the main highway in Canada and it runs through every province. and this is Ontario's. You could do 90 kilometers is the limit here on the highway. Once you hit Winnipeg, you can do 110 or at least 100. So that's good. But see, they're blowing out all this rock here. It's pretty cool. When I drive by these, I always look at the formation of the rock and see if I can see fossils, or I can see, you know, maybe amethyst veins or gold veins or quartz veins. Yeah, lots of work. Okay, off we go again. Oh my goodness. Nice little view of the lake. And I'll catch you when I catch you.